Hello again, everyone. This is Joe Henches with Beyond the Chart, and this is Stock Market Wrap-Up for Wednesday, April 15th, tax day here in the United States. We're going to take a look at the market action today and look at three ETFs, semiconductors, home builders, financials, four stocks, Alibaba, Qihoo 360, Jumei, I think, JMEI, ticker symbol, and SINA. Okay, so the Dow was up almost 76 points today, and it had been a little bit higher. So we're continuing to push, two-day push here. Actually, what's interesting is is this up? 875. Nope, it's down. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 out of the last 9 days have been up. So we got a pretty good little streak going. And I wasn't sure about this, but I looked at the advancing and declining issues today. 2-to-1 to the upside on advancers, and that's a pretty decent day for 76 points up, to having 2-to-1 to the upside advancers. So a lot of times you'd like to see a lot stronger breadth, but in recent days, in the last couple of weeks, we've been seeing 1.5, 1.2, 1.3. I think this is the first 2-to-1 in a while. So. I don't have those numbers in front of me. S&P 500 up almost 11 points. And the interesting thing I'm still watching is this pivot point right in here, the high of 2114.86. Now we're getting close. We got real close to taking that out today. And then this pivot here. So, I mean, we're still within this range. It could take it out tomorrow. For all I know. I mean, the way this thing is pushing. The NASDAQ up 33.7, so closed at 50.11. And we haven't had too many closes above that. Let's see what here. 50.08. 50.10. One day this year has closed higher than the close today on the NASDAQ. So we're going to see whether or not this rising wedge pans out or whether it fails. New York Composite. Now that's pushing near the top of its wedge up here in the top of this trend line. We'll see whether that means resistance or not. Clearly this pulled above the pivot point here. Slightly did that, I guess, a couple days ago on that reversal day. Anyway, let's see. Let's take a look at the Russell 2000, which stands at a new all-time high tonight at 1275.35. So we're pushing out. I'm starting to get a little skeptical of this wedge. It's just pushing way too far out into the apex here, but we'll see. Short-term trading index edging down, of course, as the market gets higher, more bullish. You're going to get more bullish readings in here and carrying it down. The moving average 0.95 now. And the VIX, of course, the VIX is pushing down, but it's not as low as it has been, although it's second lowest close since back here in early December. You can see here at 12.84, had this lower close here at 12.58. So let me see if there's anything setting up on, nothing setting up yet that I can see. And let's see, the high-low is the next one. Okay, so again, in the market's pushing up, the high-low is not doing anything. And so it's been since March 30th, it's had this peak 135, and we're at 120 here. Hasn't gotten high, haven't had a day with more than 135 net new highs in the day. And so if you go back and say, well, where was the market on March 30th? Okay, right here. So then with this move, now granted we had 2 days down, okay, and the advanced, that high-low pulled down a little bit. But in this rally move here, they haven't had a day stronger than what happened on this day. So that high-low is not confirming this little push that we've got going on over the last week. So that's got me a little suspicious. And okay, the last one I want to do is go back. I'm going to look at the McClellan oscillator, which is I've got in here, and it snapped back. Okay, so I had a little trend line drawn, but it's kind of made it irrelevant today because yesterday it was right in here, and so we rallied it back up. We're up in here now. We haven't gotten yet to the extremes where it topped in December, and right at the beginning of February, kind of a double little top in here. So we're not there, but we're not that far away either. We're talking 118 on the McClellan oscillator, and we're sitting at 81.51 right now. All right, let's take a look at semiconductors. There we go. Okay, so the semiconductors had a nice push today. Remember, I talked about it, which trend line is going to break, and kind of broke it yesterday in here, but then we came right back, closing above. So we'll see whether or not, and honestly, when it doesn't do that, I'm going to take that off because I might have to, modify it or something. And we'll see whether or not we're getting a push. See if it takes this one out. And let's see. Let's look at something else. RSI is not really telling me anything. The volume is not spectacular. It's right up about the 50-day moving average. And the home builders, take a look at the home builders. Home builders popped, rising a little bit over the last 2 days. But again, these doji type bars in here, a lot of indecision. You can see kind of the consolidation that was going on, pulled down, a little bit of a reversal here yesterday. And then we got a little bit of this kind of a spinning top type bar in here. But it was up 0.14. And the financials, kind of curious to see. I haven't looked at this one. Okay, so this popped. Now I saw Goldman Sachs was up pretty big today, I think. And so this looks like it's kind of breaking out of this consolidation that I had drawn here the other day. So that's kind of interesting. Now this could still be part of a pullback, but right now you'd have to say, well, it's starting to act like it wants to push. And you could draw a trend line across the top here and say, okay, if you come up here and break that trend line, we might have some kind of little cup and handle, or it's just, kind of a swing move breaking through this potential resistance. We'll see if that happens, the market's going to be in full-blown rally, I think. So we'll see, but right now, look how the financials peaked back here in late December. And again, there's no confirmation. And, if you look at the S&P 500, it's going the other way. I mean, here's December, and we rallied and went higher, and the financials haven't confirmed yet. Okay, let's take a look at Alibaba. What is Alibaba doing? Okay, so a week ago on Wednesday, I talked about Alibaba. That was right here. And I said, I drew these lines, and I said, it's going to it could run into some resistance right up in here at these peaks. And, it's got some overhead stuff going on here. And sure enough, the very next day on Thursday, it rallies up there, looks like it's going to run, and then it just reverses right on back down, and then it's sold off since then. So I don't think it's done or showing anything yet to make me think anything different's going on other than a sideways consolidation that's happening here. Yeah, we got this big gap sitting here, but I mean, we're still in a pretty good downtrend, and it looks like it's trying to put in a little bit of a base, but I mean, this thing could just blow to the downside just as easily as it could move to the upside. So no setup as far as I'm concerned that I see. Qihoo 360 is, again, a week ago we looked at it also, and that was here on the 8th. And so it's kind of pushed up a little bit, chopping kind of sideways. I do think it might have a chance to get up, and it's going to need to close above this. Do you see where this high today, 63.08? What's the high here? 63.47. the high 63.69. So you got a little bit of resistance that's coming in right in here that could be forcing this issue. But there's also the possibility that this is working some kind of fifth wave. We could have 1, 2, 3, kind of a flat 4. We could be working a fifth little wave in here that would take us up around to 68 or so. We'll see if we continue to get the follow through. Right now, it's nice that it broke this trend line and it seems to be trying to turn. And, you know, it's up here. Yeah, we're getting a little bit of divergence. Let's see, the RSI today is 79.23 and the RSI here is 80. So it's pretty close, slight divergence, nothing dramatic, nothing there. And a little bit there on the demand index, but we'll see. Right now, I would lean towards the fact that I think we're going to get some continuation off of that. All right, then here's a stock I don't think I've looked at in a long time, if I've looked at it at all. And I decided to pull it up because it got very active today. 4.6 million shares traded, and the 50-day average is 1.269. Let's look at the volume. You can see, and actually it's been pushing in here. You can see in this first move, look at all the volume above the dotted line. That's volume above the 50-day moving average of volume. Okay, so that's a lot of, you know, positive buying that's coming in, and then you're getting it again. We had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 out of the last 6 days were above the 50-day moving average. Now, the thing about this stock, and I really don't know what this company does, other than the fact that it's a Chinese ADR, but it has a really nice, I mean, it's kind of an interesting looking, you know, rounding bottom here. Okay, now what it has closed this gap, okay, with this move, or if it hasn't, it's very close to it. Let me see if I can pull my mouse back, and it's very close to closing that gap. And the dotted lines I've got in here are previous, you know, support over in here, supporting here. So that's now going to come in as resistance, and that seems to be where this move today stopped. And this was a big move, big bar. So I wouldn't be surprised to see some consolidation in here before it tries to make a run through this. You know, nice break of this trend line down here. You know, nice break here on big volume. Remember, I was just showing you the good volume. So this is kind of interesting that it's making a big rounding bottom here. We could get some consolidation and then continue to break through. Of course, your next resistance point is going to be up here. And where is that? High of 27.6 is the last peak. And probably between this high and 27.6 and 28.2. So right up around 28. And so it'll be interesting to continue to watch this. And then the last one we'll take a look at tonight is SINA. And again, haven't looked at SINA in a while. And SINA's it's been struggling. And it looks like it might be coming to life here. We'll see whether or not this is just a couple of day, you know, bear market rally and short covering or whatever, but right now it's a pretty nice strong little move and a tremendous amount of volume coming in here. 2 days in a row, 2 or 3 out of 4 days, very strong volume. That's the demand index. RSI leaped up big time, although sometimes when you get this extreme, I've talked about this before, I wouldn't call that a super extreme yet. And the RSI, 80.48. So got, you know, very strongly overbought, and then it pulled back. So let's see what else. Okay, so I got dotted lines in here as potential resistance that could come in. But, you know, it pulled back, got little moving averages crossed. But, you know, it's got some work to do, but it looks like it's trying to put in a bottom. And you could, you know, look at some trend lines. You can see it's breaking. Let's take a look at this one here. Okay, so it broke it. It pulled back down through. Pulled back. And, you know, and the other thing is, what kind of pullback did you get? I mean, you know, you look at a lot of different ways to look at this stuff. So it's had a 50% pullback of this move. It pulls back a little over 50%, and now it's trying to go again. Okay, So it could be getting ready to make a little run, and this will be interesting to watch. Let's kind of zoom out of this. You can see it's pulled back, and it's really had one heck of a sell-off, you know, from this big move back bottom March 2009, and coming all the way back down here. It could be trying to put in a short-term bottom and make another run. So we'll see. Be good to watch that, and JMEI. Got to learn how to pronounce that one. All right, that's it for tonight. Wednesday, we'll be back on Thursday with another market wrap. Everyone have a great Thursday. And if you're not watching this at my website, head on over there. Check out my post. joehenches.net is the website, or you can reach it at beyondthechart.com. Either one. And if you're not a subscriber, subscribe. It'll give you access to the Trade Ideas page, the free PDF I've got for you. And check out the training video on stops. If you're having any issues with stops, check that out. And that's only going to be up for a few more days. All right. Everyone have a great Thursday.